What is legitimacy as it relates to child support in the state of Georgia? That was my question when I researched this topic, legitimacy. Well, in this episode, we're going to explore that and also any remedies as well. So in the state of Georgia, when it comes to child support, legitimacy refers to if a man is not married to the mother, then he has to legally recognize his child by an order of the court, and only then he can recognize the child as his. That's correct. When I looked up the definition of legitimacy, this is how it relates. A man who's not married to the mother cannot recognize his child unless an order of the court. So it goes on to say, even if the father have A, signed the child's birth certificate and has his last name, B, the court order for support by enforcement proceedings, the father still has no legal right. Yes, has no legal right. So in essence, legitimacy says, unless you're married, the father has no legitimate claim to the child, as well as the mother is in absolute control. The father has no right to parent, to decide education, to select medical needs, or to choose even the activities of the child. It's almost as if the father is faceless. Other than providing money to the child, the father does not exist. I've said this often on this channel. 45 CFR 264.30, which says that the state shall enroll all participants individuals for whom paternity and child support needs to be established. This coincides with the definition of legitimacy in Georgia, as well as in other states. So here's a problem, and hopefully you'll know this by now. The 14th Amendment says that no state shall make and enforce any laws that shall abridge the privileges or immunities of citizen, and no state shall deny a person equal access or equal protection. Doesn't that legitimacy law violates the 14th Amendment? So let's continue. I did a video called Georgia Unconstitutional that also includes independent workers, 1099 workers who do not pay child support. Hello, my name is Chris, and in this session, we're going to explore this unconstitutional practice, which is called legitimacy in the state of Georgia. But also, this legitimacy claim is in many other states. Right now, let's just look specifically at the state of Georgia. This year, we are introducing what's called financial education. As many of you men who are on child support, you're struggling with your finances, and we thought that while we assist you with education on removing you from the child support program, we can also provide tips and strategies regarding your finances. And again, you should do your own research, but we can at least lead you towards managing your finances. And one of them is to improve your credit report. Yes, child support should not be on your credit report, and there are steps you can take to remove it from your credit score. Please review these videos that's on the screen, child support, as well as improve your finances. Here on this channel, we do a lot of research. Again, we're researching the legitimacy. But for that, we ask for a donation. We will take a $5 Cash App if that's all you can spare, but we ask for a $25 gift or donation, again, just to help us in our efforts to bring you more research. You can listen to us on your favorite podcast. Many of our broadcasts is over on Spotify, Apple, and Amazon, and any of your local and favorite podcasts. So let's get back to Georgia. 45 CFR 32, which is administrative wage garnishment numbers. For the state of Georgia since 2015 to 2019, it's been very consistent. It's about a little over, $0.7 billion all the way through. So it's been steady, it's been consistent. No changes there. Georgia ranked 10th on the list of top 10 what is called revenues for child support. We produced a video called The 5 Bad Actors, which is 5 states cashing your payments. And Georgia is number 10. So let's look at the last census that was conducted. It says that the state of Georgia has 3.9 million people, and there's about 4,500,000 people that are on acknowledgement paternity. That is, in terms of legitimacy, we are referring to these folks, those that are unmarried. So here's the statute. It's found under Title 19, Chapter 7, Article 2, Legitimacy. Yes, when I first heard the term, I was saying, wait a minute, does this really exist? Yes, it does. And here are the details and the circumstances within the Georgia Family Code, Article 2. So let's start off with, how do you conduct the legitimacy practice? Again, it's for fathers who are not married to the mother and who want to, I guess, by the state standard, quote unquote, recognize your own child. You have to file an action in the Superior Court of the state of Georgia. And you, in this case, is the plaintiff. By now you should know that in child support cases and enforcement cases, you are usually defendant. But in this case, you are the plaintiff. Do you know why you're the plaintiff? Well, let's get into it. You have a right to defend yourself from anyone, as well as you have a right to file a lawsuit against child support or any court. And the case law I like to use is Howlett versus Rose. It says that a plaintiff can sue in federal or state court because federal court has concurrent jurisdiction. So why do you have to file your legitimacy claim in the Superior Court? Well, you should know that there are 2 types of courts. There's Article 1 and Article 3. Article 1 jurisdiction is not part of the judicial power, which is defined in Article 3 of the Constitution. Chief Justice Marshall wrote in a court that these courts, they're not constitutional courts, and they're subject to review. That's Northern Pipeline Construction versus Marathon Pipeline. So why is this significant? You have to file as a plaintiff in Superior Court, but in child support, you are the defendant. So in essence, you are in the driver's seat when you file a legitimacy action. So now that you know that you're in the driver's seat, you now need to understand your constitutional right. First, the First Amendment. You have a right to petition the court. That's what the legitimacy says. You have a right to petition the court, and therefore you petition the court as a plaintiff. Now, within the guidelines of legitimacy, I found a few key things, but one of them I will highlight here. Again, if you want to download the full complete statute, you can read it. But here it says that the mother's consent, and the mother has to agree to all parts of it. A, B, C, D, and E. And take a look at E. It says the mother is opposing the legitimation of the said child or children. As I said, when I was researching this, you as the father have no rights to your children. The mother is in the driver's seat. And this specifically states the mother is in the driver's seat. Okay? So you need to be aware of that when you complete this form. Next, you are the plaintiff. You need to add what is called an affidavit, and it is required under Georgia law 19-7-43 Section D. That is, in your motion for legitimacy, you must file an affidavit. Why is that important? Many of you who may have signed this form, or you're going to sign the form to legitimize your child, or again, give you access to the child, you must put an affidavit in. Here's the catch. If you do not know how to write the proper affidavit. Well, what's the problem? What's the mistake? Let's go into that even further. I have a course on my learning channel, and we'll talk about that later, where it says how to write a powerful and effective affidavit. Yes, during the legitimacy process, you have to write an affidavit. It is a requirement. Here's the question. Do you know how to write an affidavit? Do you understand the components of an affidavit? How about this? What if you don't write the proper affidavit? What are the repercussions? What's the remedy? These are all the questions that you need to have before you start this legitimacy process. Again, how to write a powerful, effective affidavit is on our learning management channel. So here's the possibility of the risks, okay? If you do not write that proper affidavit, you could lose out on the education, decisions regarding education for your child. How about school activities, after-school program, and sports? Whether the child goes away for sports or have sports in the county. Next, visitation, whether weekly, monthly visitation, vacations, holidays. Do you know how to successfully place that into your affidavit? Now let's, on a more serious note, what about medical, prescriptions, serious illnesses? As you know, children get bruises from time to time. They get the cold, and since we're now coming out of the COVID-19 global pandemic, were you able to make decisions? Are you able to anticipate the decisions you need to make in the future? What if you had signed a legitimacy and you did not anticipate, which nobody did, COVID? Was that included? Was that provision included in your affidavit? So there are a lot of things that goes on with this legitimacy hearing. And as I said, when I first researched it, I was not sure what it was. In fact, it sounded crazy, but it's not crazy. It is part of the statute in the state of Georgia as it relates to child support. That is, child support's a separate function, and legitimacy is another function within Georgia. And for that, anyone who needs further details of my research, you'd have to schedule a consultation. This is not something I could place in this broadcast regarding legitimacy. It's too long, it's too involved, as well as what are the pitfalls and remedy you need to include in your affidavit. So if you want to learn how to write an effective affidavit, we have it on our Masterclass. Our Masterclass is located on the internet at childsupport.newzenler.com, where you'll find various courses to learn how to defeat the child support program. One of the other programs we have on there is to remove child support from your credit report. Yes, you should take the necessary steps to remove child support from your credit report. It does not belong there. You're ruining your credit. You're ruining your purchasing power. Plus, you're having a lower credit score as a result of child support. So here we are at the end of this presentation. As I said, legitimacy, what that meant for Georgia and other states who've implemented it, I wasn't sure, but as I looked into it further, I found out that there are many pitfalls. One of the most pitfall is this: you, as the father, have no rights to your child if you're not married, and therefore the mother is in complete control. This is the end of our presentation, and thanks. Please review some of the other videos on this page. There are links directly to those videos. Have a great day.